Hi, Phyllis here, southernfrugal.com. This afternoon I'm going to make two meals, and well, partially one meal and then a full meal. So we're going to have some fried boneless pork chops, and I'm also going to make some milk gravy to go with that. I've already cooked rice in this pot, and I've cooked noodles in this pot. And we're going to make two meals. One of them is going in the refrigerator for tomorrow, and the other we'll have today. All right, so I've already got cabbage cooking over here, and I've got my skillet on, and I'm going to actually use Crisco this time to fry the pork chops because I want the just makes better gravy when you're using pork, I think. So I'm going to show you the pack now. I bought these back probably about the 1st of May. You can't really see that there because when I thawed them out, but it was $4.50, and these are 4 boneless pork chops, and they're about a 1/2 inch thick. So what I'm going to do is, now I do not wash my meat before I cook it, ever, because it spreads germs all in your sink and everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and put some gloves on real quick here. And I'm going to bread these with I'm actually using bread flour. We're going to season them. Put my gloves on here. With a little bit of salt. Get my salt here. Just a teeny bit of salt, because we kind of are going more low salt now. And I'm going to use a little bit of onion powder, just a little bit. It's about down to the bottom on that, just a teeny bit. And a little bit of garlic powder, just a little bit, not much. You won't even know you're tasting garlic, but it'll add to the taste of them. All right, so I'm going to take the pork chop now. Only season them on one side, just because. Mash that down. And I just use the bread flour because, I don't know, I just like it on fried stuff. All right, let me get my Crisco in the pan. Take that glove back off for now. So I've just got a couple of tablespoons of Crisco. Let that melt. I've got my burner on medium. I don't want that much in there, so, well, y'all couldn't see. There. Don't want that much in there, so I'm going to put some of it back. So I'd say it's about 2 tablespoons. All right, let's finish breading these real quick. And we'll go ahead and put them right in. I like them really coated well. So we're going to cook these. They're about 1/2 inch thick. Yeah, so I've already fixed my main carbs that are going to go with the meal, and that would be the rice and the noodles. And I'm using some egg white noodles. Anyway, I'll show you what we're going to do with that second part of this. Now see, my skillet is not sitting even because of my burner, so I'll have to straighten that out. Yeah, so just coat these really, really well. Now the reason I don't wash the meat is because any germs that are on there are going to be killed in the very hot skillet. Yeah. And each one of these pork chops is about 4 ounces. Now if they had the bone in them, that would be more than that, but these are boneless. Alright, so now we got the meat all in the skillet, and I'm going to turn it up and turn it around. My burner isn't quite level. So I went ahead and put the cabbage on first because I knew it'd take a little longer for that. And so anyway, we're going to thoroughly cook these pork chops, get them good and brown on both sides, and then we'll be back and make the gravy. All right, we'll be back. All right, we are back, and the pork chops are completely done now. And I'm going to season this cabbage. I'm going to use a little of the light-tasting olive oil, just a little bit. A couple of tablespoons. I used to use butter all the time, but I've sort of changed up. I'm going to put onion powder and a little bit of garlic right in there, no salt. Just a teeny bit of garlic and a teeny bit of onion powder. Stir that around. It needs to cook maybe about 5 more minutes on the cabbage. The pork chops are done. All right, I need to get a plate. Now 2 of these pork chops are going to go in the egg noodles. So I'm going to first put some of the, this is Prego garlic, roasted garlic, and this was some used for pizza. And so now I'm going to use the rest of it for this. So I'm going to pour some of that in. And tomorrow, or even maybe the next day, all I'll have to do is just put this in the little toaster oven just to warm it up. So, I wanted to show you I was using the no yolk, actually dumplings. We just really like these, and I especially like them. All right, let's take these pork chops out. Now, if you want your breading to really stick to chicken or pork chops or whatever kind of meat you're cooking, you need to put the flour on them and then put them back in the refrigerator for a little while. So I'm just going to put pork chop on each one of these. See, the coating kind of came off this one a little bit. Well, let me get closer here. So I'm putting them right down there. And I'm going to pour the rest of the spaghetti sauce right over the top of them. And of course, once I warm this up tomorrow or the next day, that's going to run all down into the noodles. I'll get the rest of that out in just a second. I'll put the lid on it and turn it upside down. Alright, so we need to take these other pork chops up first, and then we're going to finish with the Parmesan pork chops. Alright, so now there are little bits still in the skillet. And that's what I was after, lots of little bits. And I'm not going to worry about any kind of lumps or anything like that. So now I want to kind of judge how much oil's in there. And I'd say it's about the same, 2, maybe 3 tablespoons. So I'm going to use the actual bread flour that I use to coat the pork chops. I'm going to dump that in and try to get equal parts of grease or oil and equal parts of flour. That looks like about right. So I had that much left over, which of course I'm going to throw away. So we're going to let this flour cook and get brown. Now this is the kind of gravy my mother always fixed with pork chops. Now I'm not doing it exactly like she did it. We'll put a little salt in there, and y'all might want to put some black pepper in if you like black pepper. I'm allergic to it, so there's not even any black pepper in our home. But anyway, this gravy is really good with black pepper in it. All right, so I am using, this is the way it's different than my mother did it. I'm going to use the non-fat dry milk. And I went ahead and mixed like 1/3 of a cup of the instant non-fat dry milk with about 7/8 of a cup of water. And I'll probably need a little more water. We're just going to let this get brown. It shouldn't take it too long. And I'm leaving the little bits in, and I do not strain my gravy or anything like that. Just kind of country cooking. Have little bits in the gravy. Of course, those little bits are quite delicious. Now we'll put this gravy over the rice. And some people put it over the pork chop too, but I don't really do that. I like to be able to cut the fat off the edge of the pork chop. All right, so let's let that brown a little bit more. All right, so now getting ready to put the Parmesan cheese. I actually grated my own. I've started doing that. And here it is. And so what I'm going to do is just put the Parmesan cheese right on top there. Now we're not going to heat it up today. It'll be heated up once we are going to eat it either tomorrow or the next day. Right there. Now the only thing really hot in here is the pork chop, which I'm sure is going to cool down very shortly. I'll be putting this lid on it and put it right in the refrigerator. So we're going to set that aside and let those pork chops, make sure they're kind of cool. All right, moved y'all. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. There we go. All right, so this gravy, or this flour is about browned enough. So I'm going to slowly add the non-fat dry milk, just real slowly. Now my mother used half carnation cream and half water to make this gravy. But I really like it better with the non-fat dry milk. And of course, if you put pepper in it, it would also be much better. Don't worry about the lumps. Now I'm going to get about another half cup of water. And so it makes sort of a white gravy. And I'm not sure why my mother liked this kind of gravy with pork chops, but she did, and we got used to eating it this way. Now, the purpose of using the carnation cream with half water or the non-fat dry milk is you're actually going to bring this gravy to a boil. If you use regular milk, the chances are real good it's going to curdle. So I might even have to add a little more water. Yeah, see all those lumps in there? That's what makes it really good. Yeah, all right, so we're going to let this come to a boil and just cook it down a little more, maybe add a little more water. All of my stuff has come to the bottom. I'm going to add the rest of that to my Parmesan pork chops. All right, and I wanted to tell you about the sweet potatoes we're using. So I froze a whole bunch of sweet potatoes last fall, got them, at a really good price. And so what I do is take the sweet potato. Now they've been sitting out for maybe an hour or so, so they're pretty well thawed out. I freeze them right in the peeling and put them in a plastic bag. I actually freeze them on a cookie sheet, and then when they get good and hard, I just put them in a plastic bag. So I take my scissors and cut all around to get that top layer of the skin off, and then I take my scissors and cut. I actually cut into little squares and cut them that way. Then I put a little bit of salt, not much, but a little bit, and also a little cinnamon, and then I put the little pieces of butter down in the little cracks I made. So this will go in the microwave, I don't know, maybe about 3 minutes, because they're already thawed out, but I want them good and hot. All right, y'all, so once this gravy gets ready and I get my biscuits warmed up, we'll be back. Oh, sorry. Okay, we are ready to have our meal. I want to show you this gravy. Now, it will make a film on the top of when you're cooking it once you cut the heat off. So what I'm going to do is put it over the rice. It's very thick. I don't usually like it this thick, but with this kind of gravy, I do like it thick. But if you want it thinner, you could just use a little more water. See all the little bits in there? See, right there and there, those little bits are really good. All right, y'all, there it is. Let me move that. There's Mr. Bucky's plate, and the sweet potato will serve as dessert today. And we've got our iced tea. There's my plate. I always like 2 biscuits. Mr. Bucky likes 1. All right, y'all, we will see y'all next time. Bye for now.